Welcome to another San Diego Weiss Schwartz deck discussion. This week we're going to be talking about Love Live. We have two of our local Love Live players here. We have our local idol master Quan.
Woo!
He has his own Vietnamese love idol podcast,
In
and we
Vietnamese.
have the local potato boy Preston.
Hello there.
Hello, Preston. And we would have had a third person, the Joseph Park of third place BWC 2016 fame, but I guess we were just below him. He's even short for locals anyway.
Ooh.
I know, it's pretty fucking savage. All right, Kenny.
All right, we're gonna go over the decks and cards that they do, and we'll start talking about it. So Preston's deck is on the left, and he'll start talking about his first.
Alright, so I'm just gonna go over all the cards and what they do first. So starting with the level zeros, you have the level 0 Nozomi. It's just a generic drop search. 1/5 on play, pay 1, discard 1, search music.
Has that 1500 power music
Music text, nerf.
music text.
Alright, next to it you have the Ellie. It's a 2/5 mill runner. If you mill a music, it runs. Simple stuff. You got your Hanayo next to it is a loner with hang on. So if one or less other on the field, it gets plus 1k and then hand encore. So it's a 3/5 with hand encore most of the time. Next to it, you have your Ellie. It's on play. It's like a stock troll. You take the top card of their stock, you send it to waiting room, and you put a card back. And then the second effect is a clock swap brainstormer. Pay 1, tap this, and then brainstorm 4. The Nozomi is a green Akatsuki. So discard 1, check top 4, add a green music to hand. And then the card next to it is it's a Angelic Angel Nico. It's a 500 at front, and then whenever you play a green climax down, give a character plus 1/5.
Almost better than a married life.
Better than a married life. And then level 1, you have the clone from the Umi clone from set 1. It's a 500 global, and then pay 1, tap 2, brainstorm. For every climax you hit, you search. The Nico punch next to it is a anti-change punch and a 1/0 1k punch. More like a tech card. Next to it is your Maki. It has a climax combo with either a gold bar, a pants, or a gate. And then the climax combo is on reverse. If you reverse a character, you check top 4, add a music to hand, and then you give a music character plus 1k until the end of your opponent's turn. And then the other effect is you can tap a character and it gains 1k. You can do it as many times as you want. And then the Nico next to it is a 1/0 4/5 Nico. If you have 5 more stock, it's plus 2k. So it's a 1/0 6/5 most of the time if you play it right. For my level 2s, I play a 2/1. It has 500 for every other, and it has a climax combo with a stock soul. It's on attack, add a card from your clock to your hand, and then take a damage. So a pretty beefy beat stick, I guess. And then my level 3 lineup, you have a Rin. It's on play, pay 1, and you put your opponent. You remove 2 cards from your opponent's waiting room and put the rest back in their deck and shuffle their deck. So it's like a force refresh, but they don't take a damage, and you usually remove 2 climaxes with it. It also has another effect. I think it's a climax combo with the pants. It's a pay 1, search 2, I think, something like that. I don't play it, but it's another effect it has, I guess. Here you have the Ellie level 3. What it does, it's on play, you pay 1, you send all their stock to waiting room, and you put equal amount of the cards on top of their deck back into their stock. So it's like a stock wipe type thing. And it has some other effect. I think like plus 1k with like 3 or more musics on the field, something like that. And read it. But yeah. You have your Nico, your main level 3. It's going to be on play heal, and then climax combo with either the same gold bar as the Maki, or the pants, or the gate. And it's on attack, pay 1, gains plus 2k, and on reverse clock kick. And then you have your Hanayo early play. If your opponent has a level 3 on the field, it early plays. If you have like 3 or more musics on the field, something like that, plus 1k. And then during your opponent's draw phase, you give a music plus 4k. So just a pretty beefy as well. And then this deck runs 6 events. You have your 2/1 event. It's search 2 music, discard 1, so just for grabbing whatever you need. And then you have your 1/0 Nico event next to it. You can only play it if you have a Nico on the field, and when you play it, you just search for a Nico. So it's like a transparent card. Pretty nice. And then for my climax distribution, I play 4 gold bars and 4 stock souls. The gold bar combos with the Maki and the Nico, and then the stock soul combos with the 2/1 Ellie.
All right, and Quan.
My deck is similar to Preston, but like I have like a few more level 0 more than Preston. The first one is the reversal Umi. It also have the ability to pay 1, kill level 0 in the front row. Next one is the Hanayo. It's a on play top check is music add to hand and then put another card, choose a card, put the waiting room. Next one is the Sunday Day Song Yukiho. It's the on play pay two to salvage a card, salvage a music, and whenever you attack, it can give another character 1 level and 1k. Next, we have the anti-runner Kotori, and next to it is the salvage climax Umi. Pay 1, digit climax, salvage a climax. The red Umi down there is the same as the Nozomi. It's just a red pay 1 search climax. Pay 1 this one search music. I also play like over to the Umi is the that's the sock bomb. It's a sock bomb level 0. Okay, on to level 1, I have the Sunday Song Maki. It's the if it's facing a cost 0 or lower, it get plus 1 level and 3/5. So let's make it like a base AK if it's in front of level 0. And also have a clock encore. So it's pretty good again, like any cost 0. At level 3, at level 2, I'm playing the Refresh Umi. It's a 2-1-2-5 backup, but when I use a backup, I can clock a card to refresh the deck. It's not super useful, but it have its use. And then I have the 2-1 Angel Kotori. It's my anti level 3. So basically, whenever this card attack, if character in front is a level 3, I get 6k. So make it a 13k, which is very big for any like level 3 early play. And also combo with the We Are Single Life. It's pay 1, burn 1. Okay, at level 3, I also play the Summer Festival Day Honoka, which also on play heal. And ability act, pay 1, ditch a card. It can ability to it gain 3/5, and when reverse, top deck. And the rest should be the same. Oh yeah, and for the climax, I also play like 4 We Are Single Life, but then for the other 4, I'll play 2 Angel and 2 the door red door, 1k1.
Yeah, so I think number one thing that stands out to me on first look is the amount of one-ups Quan has and opposed to Preston's deck. So why don't you talk about that, Quan? Why do you play so many one-ups in your deck?
I guess because like I like having choice. Because like with Love Fly is like notice like there's a lot of choice you have in different color, and like I feel like if I like choose a lot of one up, I can play. I can choose pick play depend on like what the opponent play too, so I can play against it. That was I thinking when I play like a lot of one off.
And how consistent is that?
It's not super consistent, but it helped.
Okay. What is your opinion on that, Preston?
I think the one-offs are like, I'm a bit iffy on them because it's not like you have all the tools in the world to grab what you need. So sometimes it's like you grab the one-off that you have, and it might help, it might not help. So I think there's higher variance in that build.
Okay. Another thing that I see, or who might not be able to see, but if you counted, is the amount of zeros you guys play. You guys both play really low amounts of zeros, 15 and 14. Preston playing 14, that's like super low amount. Why don't we say that? Talk about that. Why low level zeros?
All right, so with my deck, the way I have it structured is that the level 1 game is supposed to be pretty strong. It's like the strongest part of the deck. It's also stock free, the level 1 game is. So part of that was I had to game by level 0 game to fit it in, because I think the biggest part that was taking away from the slots was the Nico event, because I play 4 of those. And the way I compensated, I guess, for playing such a low 0 count was I effectively play like 8 beaters, I guess. So my Katsuki, I sometimes use the effect, but a lot of times I don't really because of reasons, like very high events. And then I have my Mill Runner and my Hand Encore. So I play 2 Mill Runners and 4 Hand Encore Hanayos. The reason why I play 2 Mill Runners is because of how many events are in the deck, and there's such a high chance you'll actually whiff, which is pretty funny. And then the Hand Encore 0 is basically going to be your main beater. You leave it down there, and then if they kill it, you can Hand Encore it. But the biggest drawback to that is that if your opponent plays stock reversers or clock reversers, then you cry if they kill your Hanayo, because that's going to be your primary level 0. So a lot of it is I give up my level 0 game to have a stronger level 1 game, more consistent as well.
Okay, so you said that like your level 1 is like pretty much free, right?
Yeah.
But the Nico requires 5 stock.
Yeah.
So how hard is it getting that 5 stock at level 1?
Getting that 5 stock is honestly not too difficult, because as long as I have 1 level 0 to attack with, that's usually enough. Because if I have 1 stock, I can go for a triple Nico field and play a stock soul down, and that gives me 5 stock at the end of the turn. Or like I said, if the level 0 lasts multiple turns, because it can, like the Mill Runner can last more than 1 turn if they don't kill it, or the Hand Encore, I can always Hand Encore for it. I can get like 2 to 3 stock at level 0. So like in the best case scenario, I'll get like 3 stock at level 0, and in the worst case, I get 1. Or worst case is I don't get a single 0 and I get 0 stock, and that sucks a lot. But hopefully I get 2 to 3 stock. In most of my games, I think there's only ever like 1 game I've only gotten like 1 stock at level 0 because I got rushed past 0. But that's about it.
Okay. Well, I was also looking at these decks. Like, you play the Nozomi green because most of your deck is green. It's like 75% green cards.
Yeah.
And I was thinking maybe you could play this Hanayo reveal top, but then you play 2 more events, which
Yeah, I played 6 events.
lowers the probability of this hitting. And Quan doesn't play any Akatsuki's.
Well, because like my deck ratio is too even. Like it was just only the problem with the deck when before I add like red in is that I have too many even number of like blue and green. Like it's just made later because I had to put in like a lot less blue to play in more red. But then it's still not enough green in my opinion to run like Akatsuki effectively. So I rather just play event search, and that's why I also play a lot of technique and search to salvage, because I can like just search for the card I want.
Yeah, so I can.
And also play door, play red climax just play door so I can salvage.
So, what's it called? Both of your decks are majority green. Quan plays more red in place of some of that green. We can argue that blue is pretty important, even though it's only a quarter of the deck.
Yeah.
Do you think that red that you play, Quan, is worth like playing what you sacrifice in the green, which would be like perhaps playing the green Akatsuki's or being able to having to play like tricolor in general? Like, do you think playing red is worth it?
Like according with my playstyle, I think it's worth it because I understand like with Preston deck and our playtest before, like it have much better compression and flow better. But then when I don't have the combo I require, then I just sit there level 3 and cry because it can't do anything. So the reason that's why I want to play red, because it gives me more option. Yeah, level 1 it can give me like salvage climax and or give extra 1k. At level 2 I can have like another level 3 like anti-level 3 as a much lower cost than the Hanayo, but it also can use as a finisher because you can just pay 1 to burn 1. And like the Honoka is also the same thing. Is the when I'm really screwed and I can't like access to any of my combo or just like got some 1 or 2, then the Honoka helped me like more ability to finish it. So with my play side, I prefer more option rather than like I guess compression. Like, so I can sacrifice base compression for more option.
Well, Press, what is your opinion on the red stuff, Press? Because there's some like pretty good cards in here that I can see, like the different types of bombs he plays, the climax swapper that you could arguably play in your deck without needing to play red. The early play red Kotori in general, like I think specifically the early play red Kotori and the level 3
it's not early play, it's the anti-level 3.
Yeah, anti-early play. Like these 2 cards I think are really good. Like, and you obviously can't play them. Like, what is your insight on like these red cards?
So, in my opinion, I think the red cards are actually really good tech. Granted that you can actually get them. Like, if you get them, they're really nice options to have. But I think it just changes the build ever so slightly because the main reason why my build is primarily green and blue, or primarily green especially, is because of the Nico event. I just when I saw that card, like I found out it was pretty OP of an event, so I kind of built the deck to be catered around that, which is why I can't personally fit red in my build, but I still think that red is not a bad color to include because it does offer a lot of tech options, but it takes away from being able to effectively use the Nico event in my opinion.
That's why I downsizing the Nico event to only 2 instead of 4 like present deck. And like sometimes I rely more on brainstorm and not just search.
Yeah, so what's it called? You brought up like the Nico event being really OP, right? It's like it's a free search. But
Yeah.
like looking at your deck, it seems like the Nico stuff you play is almost like the side cards outside of level 3. Like the level 1 is like the beater, the 6/5 beater, the brainstormer, the assist.
Uh-huh.
How is that like hard playing though, like being able to freely search those cards and not being able to freely search like the Maki combo?
Okay, so the way I look at it is that the Nico event it's a free search, so basically immediately you get to compress your deck by 1 card. And while doing so, you get a search for your level 1 beater, your front line, or your back line, whatever you need. It makes it so that you can basically when you get put into awkward situations, like you hit 1 first or something, and you only have 1 color in clock. Say you only have green in clock, you can't you only have green in clock, you can't even play the Maki. And then if you only have blue in clock, you can play the Maki, but you can't play the climax combo for it. So the way I look at it is that you're basically like, I guess, crutching on the event and it grabbing your Nikos basically at level 1 because you effectively play 8 level 1s, 8 Nico level 1s because you have 4 of the Nikos himself and then the events. And I think it's really strong because you just basically freely compress your deck. You play on a frontline beater that's actually pretty big after you use your stock and everything, or after you don't use your stock. So it'll be 6/5 without even any backlines. And then with your backlines, which is not hard to get at all if you just draw into them and use your event, you have 7/5 Nikos, which is a pretty annoying to field to get rid of. And that's just if you hit level 1 with only 1 color. And then the Nico event also works as your level 3 game as well, because you can freely grab your level 3s. So in a sense, it's like the Nico event is a transparent card in your hand that could be either a 1 or a 3, and then when you play it down, it just immediately compresses your deck by 1 card.
Yeah, so Quan, you mentioned earlier that sometimes it's kind of hard getting the Nico sometimes, which is why you play the Honoka. Do you think maybe trying to play 4 of the Nico events is worth it to be able to be more consistent?
No, but the thing is like if that, then I have to downsize my level 0. My own like I said, I like at least with Preston he have trouble with my level 0, but with me, as far as I play, like for field match, I usually don't have any problem with getting enough level 0 to like fight for level 0 game. But definitely more event than that, then I have to downsize something, and I don't think I can afford that.
All right, so what else is hella broken? The Rin Ellie combo. This is really trolly, isn't it?
Oh yeah, that thing win me game for BWC.
Oh, I see. Let's talk about it because it seems kind of trolly. Do you think there's other things you could potentially play other than that?
So the way I see it is this deck does really well with the lead. So the reason why I invested so much in Nico event is because at level 1, if it goes off properly, like you play like 1 or 2 Makis, and then you give the on reverse power to Nico, so you have a 1/0, 8/5, 9/5 wall. It's free, basically. If a 1/0 wall is free, and your opponent will have to spend resource to get over it, unless they play level reversers. So with that in mind, at level 1, you probably should be able to win, generate a lead off of that. But in the rare cases, or not rare cases, but in those games that you don't, or you just fall behind, you don't cancel, I feel like the Rin plus the Ellie give you kind of like a way to play from behind. Because if you hit level 3 first, your opponent hasn't used any of their stock, nothing yet, and they're going to be decently compressed going into level 3. So using that combo, so the combo is to play down the Ellie to stock wipe them, put the cards on top of their deck to stock, and then you force refresh -2 climaxes. And the ideal case is that you pulled out some of their climaxes in their deck and put it into stock. So you force them to refresh like maybe missing 4 or 5 climaxes, and then you try to swing from there, push them really deep into 3, or maybe win the game from there. So the way I look at it is that combo will probably keep you even in damage, or maybe win you the game, because it works if you're behind. And then if you're ahead, it's even stronger, just because you can probably just win the game off of it. But I like it because it really helps with those I'm in behind situations, and it also really helps in those in some of the more annoying matchups, like for Monogatari when they play the clown glasses. Your Rin is effectively making the clown glasses like not as strong anymore, because you refresh them -2 climaxes and they put the 2 back in. So it's like they just refresh normally. And I think it's just a really good option to include. If I weren't to include it though, because some people see it as kind of trolly and inconsistent to grab, I would probably just play more early play Hanayos or more level 3s that would kill the other opponent, I guess, like level 3 finishers, maybe more clock kickers, stuff I could fit in. But for my opinion, I like the trolley combo just because it's a good way. It's a good like I'm behind option, and it's a good answer to super compression decks.
Okay. Now,
I mean, I also have the same opinion, but like I guess, like I just want like a little more insight. Like it's more like the thing is like playing the cards also very risky. It's just that like you have to time the time where you're getting behind. Like you get pushed to level 3, but not enough to getting killed. Like for example, like a few card like I guess Sword Online or maybe like Kantai, where it have like a lot of surge, and it's really just they go through the deck very fast. So like with the early, you can even force the opponent to refresh when they have like less than the number of cards their deck is less than their stock. So you take 1 additional damage on top of taking like basically ruin their compression.
yeah.
Like yeah, the way I see it is like if you can get that combo off, its effectiveness depends on how good your opponent is, I guess. If the opponent is playing like a really good deck and they understand like how to compress their deck, how to build up a lot of stock, and they haven't hit 3 yet, they're not gonna touch the stock yet, then I think the deck would be really strong. Like just for example, you fight Monogatari, they put the 2/2 combos down and they play the gold bar combo and they have hella stock now. And then you use the combo on them before they hit 3. There's a good chance you could probably finish them from right there, so they don't even get a chance to play 3. I think that's just like it helps in like some of those matchups, I guess.
Oh yeah, should also bring up the Ellie Brainstormer combo with it.
Oh yeah, okay. So I play the Ellie for 2 reasons actually. One of them is because it combos with that Rin Ellie combo. So after you stock troll them, you play the Brainstormer down so that you remove the bottom card of their stock, and you put a climax from waiting room. You usually do this when your opponent has like 3 climaxes in waiting room, and because you can only remove 2 with the Rin, so you remove the third one by using the Brainstormer. And then the second reason why I played actually is because it's a clock slot Brainstormer, and it can add events. And I play 6 events, so usually when you add like when events end up in your clock or something, you can grab them. And same for my 2/1 actually, the 2/1 Ellie. It's an odd attack. It adds a card from your clock to your hand, so you can add the events if you need to. So it really helps for like making a deck much more consistent, I guess, because say a 2/1 event ends up there or a Nico event ends up in there, you can grab it. If not an event, it could just be your Nico or the level 3s you need actually. So either way, I think it's being able to like grab cards from your clock really helps this deck because of how many events are in the deck.
Okay. What else? What else? Let's talk about the comparison between like the Kotori, the 2/1, and the 2/1 Ellie, because that's a really cool difference. I think that's a really cool difference between the 2 decks. Because like the Kotori, it kills early plays, while the Ellie kind of just maintains field presence. The Ellie definitely pluses hand. It's a plus combo for level 2, while the Kotori is like a pseudo finisher for level 3 because it burns, or it can be played early, kind of just to put more pressure. So
Like in my opinion, like because I've played both of them, and I prefer the Kotori mainly because with the Ellie, it's a 2/1, but usually don't play it unless you either really ahead or like you have forced to play it. But then again, it's what a 2/1 AK, right? 2/1 AK
9K.
9K.
It's a 2 and 9K with a full field, and then with backline it's like 10K.
And Angel combo to be able to get big. Why this one, the 2/1, like when the opponent like is with the 2/1 Kotori, when the opponent like early play the level 3, you can immediately play that with just one sock, and you can storm over the level 3 right away. Like I think like it's a more cost-effective option.
The way I see it though is like you do have options against the level 3s unless they're like unpunchable, which most high 2 decks have early plays that are unpunchable now. So making it not as good an option, but you have a Nico punch, and it's definitely not hard to get with this deck because you, like I said, you play so many Nico events, you grab whatever you want. So if I need to against a level 3, I can play the Nico event. The reason why I also prefer the 2-1 is because, like I said, it maintains field. It just keeps generating you more advantage. Because the biggest thing with this deck is like it's a compression deck. It'll do really well in the late game. Because ideally by then, like on average, I get like 12, 14 stock with the deck. So the 2-1 just helps me solidify that lead. Because sometimes your level 1s, like they die to level 2s, and you need to match the level 2s. In which case, I think this card can easily do it. Because you also play the Angelic Angel Nico, which gives 1/5 when you play a Climax down. So if you play the Stoxel down, you +1 for the combo, and then your 2-1 Ellie's are 11/5, which is pretty big. And I think that'll climb most level 2s in the game, and some early play level 3s. And because usually if the opponent early, unless they like full like triple early play, I usually just like give up the early play lane because it's something that you'll come back from later on in the game.
Interesting. That's a cool, different comparison. Now, Quan, earlier you mentioned the 2-1 refresh Umi punch. How like it's sometimes good and like sometimes not good.
Like to be honest, that's like the most iffy card in my deck. I'm still debating whether or not I keep it. But like I said, the reason I play it is because it's the only deck refresher in the set.
Yeah.
But the thing is, yeah, like most people point out, that it hurt you more because it makes you clock one to be able to refresh your deck. So internally, you still eating 1 damage instead of like on the other refresher, like the Ring Archer, it refresh your deck and it also draw you a card, and it's also 2-1 AK.
Yeah. So do you use the deck refresh effect? Do you use the deck refresher effect? How often do you use that card?
Not a lot. Like the reason is good because it can refresh your deck right away without like any other condition. Like you have 5 card in deck, or you have 5 like 6 or more climax in waiting room or something. So like I think it's good when you play around like when you're behind at level you're behind around like level 2 or 3, when you know that all your climax is out in the waiting room already, but you still have like very thick deck, so you like accept to take 1 damage to get a chance to cancel more by refreshing the deck. But generally, I like out like 10, like for example, out like 10 match I play, like I maybe use it only once.
Okay.
Which is like a very low ratio.
Is there anything else you guys want to talk about, perhaps?
I guess we can talk about the meta matchups and how we feel about those, because I play in the JP meta and then Quan plays in the English meta. I guess we can do some comparisons there.
Yeah.
All right, sure.
So I'll start first, I guess. So in JP meta, like I think the 3 decks I usually have to watch out for are Kantai, Monogatari, and IMSCG. And so I'll talk about the Gatorade matchup first. The Gatorade matchup I think is not bad, because for them, usually you want to hit level 1 first. You don't want to make sure they can't hit level 1 first, because if they hit level 1 first and they full field like Convaru bombs or something, then you usually have a really hard time dealing with that field, because all your level 1s just die to it. But if you hit level 1 first, you can just put on your level 1s and they're forced to play Convarus into it. And then it's no guarantee that their Shinobus can climb your Nikos either if they play the 1-0 combo. So they have to usually kill the Makis or something. But I think you end up winning level 1 game only because they're forced to reverse into you when you have empty lanes, so you can get ahead in damage, or your level 1 field just doesn't die against that. And then when you hit level 2, you tend to start losing because they'll play 2-2s down or early plays, and you don't really have many answers to that. But ideally, you have a lead that transferred over from level 1. And then when it comes to level 3, you can win level 3 pretty hard, I think, because you have heals, so you heal back to 3-0 usually. You're pretty compressed. You can clock kick their level 3, so only get one turn of it maybe. If they play the top checker Shinobu, or if they play the heal and counter Bermaid, then that's a different case. They deny your clock kickers, in which case you try to go for the stock troll combo. Because like I said, it's really effective against their deck because they generate a bunch of stock and they compress really, really, really well. So I think the matchup for Love Live against Gatorade is not too bad. It just comes down to how you play the early game is the biggest thing. And then the next deck, IMSCG, I think against TP, the matchup isn't that bad as well either, only because they don't put too much pressure on me at level 1. Only their center lane is strong and their side lanes are kind of weak, so I can usually wall up in the side lanes and plus off of that. It's the level 2 that also annoys me because they early play and they have that big ass Rin. And usually you concede the one lane, but the biggest thing is that with this deck is that if you don't get pressured enough at level 1, you generate a pretty big advantage off of it. And that usually translates well into the late game because at level 2, you can just do whatever you need to get them the damage. And then at level 3, you can just clock kick them and then kill their things, or you can do the stock troll combo, like I said. And then the one matchup that I really, really, really hate is Kantai. So I have two friends.
Preston.
Yeah.
Preston. How do you
Yeah.
feel about Project Crone?
The Crone Zone.
Project Crow.
How do you feel about Project Crone?
The Crone Zone is fucking OP. That matchup is unwinnable, actually.
Not like this, Preston.
As if you have not seen our videos, you should go back and watch the one game where I fight the Crone Zone. That matchup is 100% unwinnable if you leave one card left in your deck before refresh.
No, you just need that Umi punch, man. You need that Umi punch.
And that's when you play the Umi punch. And don't be like me. Don't leave one card in your deck, kids. Don't be fucking boosted like that. Holy shit, not like this.
Yeah, that game sponsored by Pesh Cats, right? Randall D. Randall.
Sponsored by Pesh Cats,
Okay.
dude. Check him out. Check out his trolly ass rendition of that game as well. All right then.
Okay.
And then Kantai. I don't know the name of those cards. Kenny can help me out, but because two of my friends play Kantai. One plays. You played Prince, right, Kenny?
Yeah.
The Prince build, and then Jono plays that other. My other friend plays that level 1 to 2 changer build.
The U and row combo.
Yeah. I think that matchup is really, really hard to win because at level 1 they destroy my field like without even trying. Their level 1s, if I kill them, they change into 2-1s and that bodies me really hard. Or if I don't kill them, I try to side of them, they can still kill me because they tap and they give 1/5, something like that. And basically my level 1 game has a really hard time against that deck, and usually when I fail at level 1, the rest of my deck it has a lot harder time performing in the late game. And then against the Prince build, I don't think the matchup is that bad because their level 1 game isn't as oppressive. They wall up, but then the thing is with the Love Live deck is that you actually can climb walls pretty well because you have the Angelic Angel Nico, and then you have your Makis and your Nikos. So like your Nikos can easily hit like 9k, 10k, whatever you want it to be. And I think the thing that matchup is more of it goes into the late game, and if you can survive the things, which you pretty much can because your compression will be pretty tight, you just try to clock them back, heal back to 3-0, and just do like simple level 3 things, I guess. So that's how I feel about some of the meta matchups for JP at least.
Okay, and Quan, we just had regionals. Like when was it? Like a couple weeks ago. BWC. How were some of the matchups you played and how you played into them, and opinion on matchups?
Like I guess like because in English, then like you only have like a field deck that's consistently top is Sword Online, Attack on Titan, and Kantai. Like with Sword Online, it's just because they like the level 1 Yuki is so good, like it's super consistent. Not like you can't do anything about it, and they just come over. So it's literally just a training for. But usually, like when I win a fight against Sword Online deck, I usually got pushed behind very bad because like the deck simply cannot keep up with like the consistent of Sword Online. That's why I rely on like playing all the early in Sakura because I know that because they search more, they're more consistent, they compress more. Like the early, we're gonna hurt them when they push me to level 3 first. With Attack on Titan is the like I think like one of the few dangerous thing is the early play Mikasa. It's 2-1 change to 3-2, right?
Yeah. Or they play healer and can field swap.
Yeah, and that's why I add red, because Kotori have both anti-run and like that 2-1 that can sound level 3. So usually, like when I play again like a few Attack on Titan, like they can't they sometimes they don't fulfill, like when they play the Mikasa, they don't have the ability to actually fulfill it because of all the card they sacrifice just to play it. So I can just play down one anti-run to keep the Mikasa from swapping, and then I play the 2-1 Kotori down to kill the Mikasa.
Oh, that's so broken. What the hell?
Like that.
Think
That's
about
why I have played one engine Kotori, like so I can search for it.
just think about
Interesting.
that just holy shit. Think about that. That was pretty funny. That's pretty dirty.
I mean,
they
I
can
guess
they can
that makes
swap, but then I
sense.
have anti-run, so I'm like,
What else?
like against Kantai, like it's hard to say because because our local only play JV Kantai, so I don't have real experience with English Kantai, so I don't really know, and I don't even play with any Kantai at all during my WC. Like all I play is like 2 Sword Online, 1 Love Live, and 1 Angel Beats.
Okay.
So like I really don't have any experience with Kantai, but I don't think with at least with English Kantai it wouldn't be too well. Oh, except like aside from the Hazukaze anti-salvage and the anti-heal, because like English Kantai doesn't have a ban list, so it's kind of hard to play against both anti-salvage and anti-heal at the same time.
I don't think it's that bad. You only have 2 doors, or
Yeah, that's why I downsized to 2-door, because I used to play 4-door.
okay.
Oh, can I add one thing about the anti-heal is a pretty funny thing in my opinion, because anti-heal is definitely annoying against this deck, but usually you can heal through it because you'll just have enough stock to do it.
Yeah,
It's pretty dumb, but like I think anti-heal is just annoying. It doesn't break the deck. It's just annoying. It just means you have to just heal, like pay 4 stock to heal, which is just whatever.
and that's why I also play the stock bomb and the level 1 snipe Umi, because like against card like Inazuma, I can just stock swap them, or basically any card that like when they go to waiting room, I can just stock swap them. And again, card like the Hibiki that is it on reverse, send away, like send to memory, right?
Yeah.
I can just pay 1 to snipe them, so they have to like take another Hibiki out or something. So that's why I play red.
And going to the first one, what is your opinion on the Sword Art matchup, Preston?
Okay. Okay. There are some matchups I should hate more, but
Let's do a shout out to Jan Lee,
yeah,
Master Sean.
Master Shan Lee, the local resident sword art player, and our
Go easy on me.
go easy on me. I'm bad at this game, but I really don't like the matchup, even though I think the matchup's pretty 50-50. It's just because it's really annoying, because at level 1 they climb walls, and they plus off of it with their Yuki combo, which you try to wall up and try to stop them from doing so. So I think in that matchup, the way you play it is instead of going for the Nikos, you try to go for as many Makis as you can, because you want to keep them in hand with them. Because their things are going to be really weak on defense, so you don't really need to have the Nikos out to try to kill them. The Makis will usually just full field wipe them. Because you also have the Angelic Angel Nico in the backline, so that'll usually cover over any of their 2k punches as well. So I think that matchup is literally just how many Makis can you get off, and then if you can get off enough, then at level 3, the game will be pretty even. Because they have a burn for 4, but you have a clock kick. So it'll just come down to like who pluses more hand at 1. Oh, Zero's actually really annoying as well, because they play clock reversers and they kill your Hanayo. Or they kill my Hanayo at least, and that feels really bad. But yeah, the matchup's annoying.
That's why
Very
you
annoying.
play more option.
more
options.
more options, but I'm just like how it's a struggle to get them sometimes. If you only play one of, that's why I play 4 of. It's like my most consistent option, I guess.
Well, like in my logic to this is like he plays 3 different reversers, so like outside of their very specific utility that they bring, they all are a reverser, so they'd all like you play
That's
them
true. That is true.
as a reverser.
That is true. So Quan, how do you feel about the Sword Art matchup?
Very bad. Like usually when like they play Sword Online, I get like even like a decent player only, like they can really like get ahead with like you said with a Yuki combo, and like you said, you have nothing to stop it because you just attack like search and attack. Search to
Yeah,
discard one. So that's why
I think
I usually banking on them having like 10 or more stock. Then I use Ellie to basically wipe out the stock. And usually at that time, like when with that matchup again, that BWC, you have like 5 card left in deck and you have 10 split stock. Just use the Ellie. So you have to put all this card from deck into stock, refresh, clock, and put finish the effect, and then clock or clock one more for refreshing. And like I just finished him. Like I pushed him straight from 3-2 to like 3-7 in game. And when he reviewed it, it's like he put in like 5 climax in the
in the stock.
10 stock. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's like it is your best option from behind. It is definitely a really good option to go for against Sword Art. But I think some like Sean, it's really easy to play around. Like once you played against a deck a few times, you understand that it has the option to do so. So you don't really have to like build up 10 stock at level 3 to triple play your Shinon and like try to burn 3 times or something like that. I mean, it's ideal, but sometimes you just don't have to do it because you can I think the biggest weakness with Love Live, like beat me really hard at 0 and 1 and make it so that my level 1 game is like my level 1 walls are pretty much useless. Then I'm gonna struggle for the rest of the game is the biggest thing because that's the strongest point of the deck in my opinion. The level 1 and then the level 3 game.
You get like let me say like level 3 is very stock hungry. Like every card need to have a pay 1 ability to do something. So that's like minimum 2 to 3. Like with Nico, you can just attack and then attack with another card and pay, but it's still a cost stock.
Well, assuming you're only playing like, what is it, 3/3s, like in one turn for like your level 3. If you play like a Honoka, that's 3. Play Hana. If you do like Honoka, Honk, Ellie, that's like obviously 9 stock. Other than that, it'd be like 8 stock on average. How else can we do this? It'd be like, yeah, because Rin and Ellie both cost 3, so that's like 6 stock for those
Yeah,
2 cards.
6 stock just for the troll combo already. So any other level 3 you play after that is going to be a luxury. But usually with the deck, like I said, on average, I get like 12 to 14 stock. So it's usually not hard to get off a refresh combo and then get off 3 claw kickers. The hardest part though is getting the hand size to do that. Like because the main way the Love Live generates its hand size is either with the Maki combo, which is you generate +1, but you don't get it's not consistent in what you grab because you just check top 4. And at some point, like later points in the game, you're not going to want to go through all 4 cards in your deck. You're just going to go through like 1 or 2, stop when you hit a character and then add it to hand. And then you also generate hand size by, like I said, at level 1, you just leave a really big field that they can't deal with. And that's usually like a free field, especially a 1/0 wall that they can't kill, and that'll just start snowballing and like keeping your hand up there pretty big.
It just seems like it's very reliant on how effectively your opponent can deal with the field.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's a big that's a really good part of it. Because in terms of like consistency, I think it's really consistent at getting out the field because I play so many events. If I need a like triple Nico on because I have a single color level 1 game, I'll easily do it because I'll either have the Nico in hand or I'll have the event in hand or I'll have some way to grab it. I think it's just if you can kill the level 1 field with this deck, then it kind of struggles a lot. But if you can't, then we'll get a really big lead off of it.
All right, so I think I want to start talking about some other cards that we want to discuss. And we can start off with the blue Maki because both of you guys had played this card at point in your deck when you guys played more blue, so we can discuss that.
Okay. This card sucks unless you play a lot of blue.
But you did used to play blue.
Okay, I used to play one of these because I didn't have enough green Akatsukis. I only had one, so I played one blue and one green one. And then that's like it's super annoying to play with when you play so little blue and so many events. I think whenever I'd use it down, I'd use the effect. I'd usually -1 for no reason because I checked top 4 and I'd whiff completely. So and then the green one isn't always even like I play the green Akatsuki more for the mill effect, less for I want to grab something. because usually you play it down, you're going to hit like an event or something or climax, and it just feels bad when the remaining 2 cards are like cards you don't even need yet. So this blue Akatsuki is really good in some builds of Love Life. Like there's a build of Love Life that plays primarily blue and then splashes in like a little bit of green and red, and I think that this card is amazing in it. It's also really good in the Mono Maki decks, obviously. But in terms of like how good this card is, it just really depends on how you build your deck. So in my deck, I think it sucks dick.
Like same with mine. I also used to play like Preston, play 1 blue Akatsuki and 1 green Akatsuki, but my deck ratio is so too even to play either of them effectively. So it's just this both.
Yeah, because your old build, when you used to play red-green, used to be more on like the 50-50 zone for red-green, or
For
blue-green.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like you just replace those red cards with blue cards, and you think even 50-50 is bad with?
Yeah, because I feel like for Katsuki to like basically play 2 or 3 copy, your deck had to be like around like 30 cards or something of one color to be able to like pull it off consistently. Otherwise, like you just uh play off like play blue Katsuki, all you review is like green card, and you cry. That happened when I test Preston deck when they have this card. It happened a lot.
Yeah. Akatsuki's bad. Don't play it, boys. Don't play it.
Like it's good. Majority of your build is blue, but it's bad for model or deck because our deck ratio is.
Yeah, it's not fit for this deck in my opinion.
Next card. This card. Same concept on the blue, but a little better. This card is really cool. It sees some play. It's 500 in front. Climax combo with a blue stock soul. So really cool. If you have 5 or more stock, look at top 4. Add a music character that Milky Holmes Amagi effect. It follows in suit with the 5 or more Nico. So you kind of have sharing goals with other aspects of your deck. It's a plussing combo. Back row support. This normally, if you took out probably the green married life, I think you'd play this. What is your opinion on this?
Okay, so I think this deck works better in a mono or a primarily blue deck. The reason why I wouldn't fit this into my deck is because the strongest, it's really nice to be able to make a free 1/0 wall and then also climb a field with it as well. The problem with like this card is it helps you generate a lot more hand because you play on the blue stock soul, and I think you would probably pair it up actually not with the Nico but with like the Maki cards because they're all blue. It's better to have a monocolor. I mean, a monocolor blue. So in the case you hit like 1/0 with only one color, you can just play blue down. That's why this card works better, I think, in a blue deck. It wouldn't be as effective in my deck just because I'd have to play a blue climax with green level 1, which is still pretty awkward then, in my opinion. And I mean, it's definitely a good card to include if you want the plus hand, but I don't think I need it because I care more about the field at level 1.
Yeah, because this card isn't color restricted, so I think this is good in a blue deck, but I think it's also good outside of a blue deck as well, opposed to like the blue Akatsuki, which would only be good in a blue deck.
Yeah. It's definitely not color restricted. It just forces you to play the blue climax, which means you're level 1. You probably will need a dual color if you want to play any other level 1s that aren't blue.
Well, if you're playing the blue Maki already, it kind of
Yeah.
follows in suit.
That's what I'm saying. So it works better with the blue deck because you put it with like the blue Maki, the 1/0, the Shinan clone, the Maki, maybe the Maki that gets like really, really big. Basically, if you play like that level 1 that's primarily blue, that'd be pretty. This card would be actually a really good addition.
What about your Yukon?
I thought like usually people play this instead of the global support Nico.
Which one, the Brainstormer?
Yeah, the brainstormer.
Yeah, you could add more level zeros to your deck if you did it that way.
Yeah, but it's just like let's say present. I prefer like have power on my level 1, but I also like play against this card basically like a mono blue in like BWC, and it's annoying in terms of like how it took so long to go through everything. Well, because like when to play against the opponent, and I think he draw into too many climax, so he had to go through a deck a lot. So he grabbed through every Katsuki, he played through all the Katsuki, then he on top of that he also played all the ring he have. So I'm like just sitting here while he doing all the Katsuki and all the ring.
All right. Next card, the Curious, the Ring Brainstormer, another ring card. This card's pretty good. It's seen a play pretty often as well. It's a level 0 Brainstormer instead of the Nico Brainstormer. You obviously want to play the Nico one because it's searchable through the event, but this lets you kind of start generating more advantage level 0. What's your opinion on this card?
So like I said something earlier, so if I wasn't playing my clock brainstormers, or yeah, the clock add to hand brainstormers, the LEs, I would be playing this card instead. And the reason why I chose the other one over this one is because I don't need that search brainstormer. I need the clock brainstorm in the case that I need like the events that are in my clock. I need to add them to my hand. And the first effect actually that is paired up with is just it's a better effect, or it helps me later game, I think. So the biggest thing is that I just don't need another search brainstormer. I'd rather have a clock brainstormer, which is why I don't play this card. Because at one point in time, I tested this card and I just felt like it wasn't necessary because the clock one was just, it offered more utility.
Sounds kind of weird saying you want to grab the events to search for characters when you can just search for them.
No, I mean, it's like, say at like at level 2 or some shit, right? I play it down, I can brainstorm because I just happen to have the 2-1 event in my clock. I can grab that instead of having to, because then it lets me search for the 2 things and then pull out like whatever 2 cards I need.
And
My reasoning is like mostly the same as Preston, but also like I said, like I usually don't find myself to have to brainstorm a lot, mainly because I use it to tap for the Maki. And if I tap this card, then I can get like extra power for the Makis to climb over people's wall to do the Katsuki effect. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
well, because like this card example with the Maki, it'll trigger its first effect on the Maki act effect. And the other thing is, this is only a rest itself, while the Nico Brainstormer is a rest 2. So you still have that option of like resting one character.
That's
if you
again
have
the
one.
Maki power.
The Nico Brainstormer is it also give already a pass like a global 500, so it's offset that.
Yeah.
So like this, I think like this is more like a matter of taste, like a choice rather than like which card is better.
Okay. Next card. Oh yeah, this Kotsuri. Scramble Brainstorm, another kind of like emergency situation card. You used to play at Quan. Why'd you take it out?
So yeah, like as your suggestion, I used to play this and also the Sunny Day Song Yu-Gi-Oh! But I like the Yu-Gi-Oh! More over this card because with the Yu-Gi-Oh! Because in attack it give me 1k, so it's allow me to be aggressive and also give power. But this one, I don't see use much like because it effectively is like when other character become reverse, choose one of your character and get +1 power. So I can just like suicide ram with this. I have to just ram with another one. And even on defense, like it's very iffy. And sure, you can argue like you can use the like the brainstorm to pay out climax, but then like I'd rather play the green brainstorm, level 1 brainstorm. It's a better brainstorm.
Yeah, because this lets you. This is like spammable brainstormers. I like spammable brainstormers because they let you kind of emergency payout stock. The other thing that I kind of saw value in this card is because the Makis kind of, in my opinion, make it really hard to like full field defense. While it's more like you want to invest in like 1 or 2 cards specifically, the way I usually see Preston as well played. So like 1 or 2 of your cards are usually gonna die per turn. So it kind of just gives you that buffer of like guaranteeing allowing other
Like
cards to live.
like true, like it sit better if you like it's a better as a back row, but then like your back row only have your 2 Nico.
Yeah, I think the problem with this is like it definitely is a good tech card, in my opinion, when you put it that way. But then your backline's pretty tight on space. It's because like, what do you value more? Do you want to have a Nico Brainstormer there with a global 5? Do you want to have an Angelic Angel Nico for the plus power in your turn? Like, do you want to have like the Rin Brainstormer and then maybe a combo of this, or do you want to have like an Angelic Angel and a combo of this? I think a lot of it will come down to like matchups. What card do you prefer in this matchup? And then I think in most matchups though, I'll either just prefer a Brainstormer and an Angelic Angel Nico, or just 2 Angelic Angel Nikos. Because I think once I'm able to climb them on their turn and I get my Makis off and stuff, I think my Nico will be strong enough regardless like the Nico will be like 108595 maybe. And for them to climb that, they're gonna have to spend considerable resources, or unless you sort out, which is kind of dumb. But they have to spend something to kill it. So I think that's why the revenge trigger isn't as necessary.
Okay.
Yeah, like if this is like a revenge trigger and also a brainstorm, then maybe I'll use it. But it's not. Like yeah.
Next card. Yeah, Quan plays this card. I think this card's like really broken, just like Climax suggests. Even I think maybe Preston could get away with playing this card in his deck, opinion on this card.
Actually, this is not a bad card. It is pretty good because there are some games that do get Climax screwed, to be honest. But the reason why I just don't play it is just probably no space. If anything, I'd remove like an LE brainstormer for this card if I wanted to test it out. But it's something I'd have to like play around with more because I do have some slots to get rid of a 0, like just for more utility. But I don't know. I think it's just it's an interesting card. You just gotta play with it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
I
I
like
think-
it because like more often than not, I found my situation where I'm like, I have 4 climax and like none of them is the climax I need, so I just play this. And also like if anything else is also served at like 2 lower 025. You can just throw it against anything.
Yeah, it is 2/5, and okay. This card's pretty good.
Okay, this card is pretty good in some builds, but the reason I looked at this card but never considered playing it because, like I said, my deck tries to be a wall deck. It doesn't have trouble climbing on my own turn, so having the on play plus 500 for every other or number of your music characters, I don't need like a 1/0 that's really big on my turn because I already have that. The Nikos will get pretty big. The Makis can get big too if I decide to tap power for them. And I think the biggest drawback to this is that, like, say you have 2 Makis and one of these Rins. After you get the unreversed combo, the primary target will probably be this card because it has a high space power. But then even then, it's only going to be a 107k, and it's not that strong. So I just don't think it synergizes too well with the Makis, only because when you try to give 1k until the end of opponent's turn, you don't really have a good target to give it to. You can't really wall up as effectively.
I used to play the yellow version of this card on my old Love Life build, which is no brain good rain, which is it's 4/5, right? Instead of 5k.
Yeah, it's 4/5. It has a pay 1/1 soul effect.
Yeah. Like back then it's good because like you don't have any other option, but now like Preston said, like because you have much better card and you need to wall up instead of like getting power in your turn, you can already do that with all your Maki and like even with your Mary Life Angel Nico, you just play down climax and get 1/5 up. This is not like a good choice for the deck, like for our deck rather than like a bad card.
Okay.
I do think that card would be fine if, like, say you played the mono blue deck and then you don't have the Angelic Angel Nico. I think that's the biggest reason why I don't need this card is because I have that plus 1/5 when you play a green climax down.
Okay.
So basically, I can just climb fields without it.
Yeah, let's go to this card. This card's OP.
This card's OP.
I
don't have
think this card worked better in JP meta than English.
Yeah.
Like
Actually,
I also used to play in that deck, but then after a lot of consideration, I just put it out and play another search event. Mainly because like in English, you also have a lot of target in the back row to kill, but ultimately they're not as a threat compared to other back row and JP.
I think
Try Primus with the now or like to Love Rule.
I mean, like, it's always nice to be able to pop backline. I think this card's really nice. It just can't fit into my deck. Like, if I could
Because
fit
you
it,
can play red.
yeah, because I don't play red. But I mean, like, if I were playing a red deck, I'd probably put 1 copy, 2 copies in it because it really helps some matchups. You against Milky Homes, you just pop their backline. They can't do
Yeah.
anything anymore.
Yeah, but like I said, like it's better for JP matchup rather than English.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay. Next card. I want to talk about this Haneo early play.
Oh,
We
okay.
all play that. Eh?
This Haneo early play is quite nice. The reason why I added it in is actually for a really trolly reason. When I started playing the deck, I found myself in a really awkward situation where I would cancel too much at level 2. So I'd start building a lead at level 2 because I would cancel a lot, but then I wouldn't have enough like characters to contest their level 3 field or stuff. I wouldn't have enough base 2 souls to try to kill them. So the reason why I added in this deck was because in those matchups where I'm actually level 2 and they hit level 3 first because I just keep canceling, you play this down and you have a 2 soul beater, and it's also a character that is very, very hard to kill. And it's also really good in like matchups where people early play, I guess, like a reactionary early play, I guess. It's a good thing to like secure your one lane to make sure that it never dies is the biggest thing. I think though this card at level 3 is kind of counterintuitive with the Clock Kicker deck, because when you play at level 3 you wall up your Nikos and stuff. But what happens is that if they just crash into your field because it's too big, you can't get any Clock Kickers next turn. So sometimes it's just like you have just when you play this down, you just have to like you play it down because you're behind or you're ahead in damage and you need it like you just want to push that final bit of damage. Or like say you probably would avoid playing it down if you want to keep clocking in your opponent.
I also think like it's a good card, but like, at least for my deck, because I'm running the 2-1 Kotori now, I may ditch this card just to play more Nico, just to get more consistent level 4. Because mainly if you want to deal with level 3, I already have that the Kotori for that. And like Preston said, like the problem is with the clock kick deck is that like this card suddenly became a war instead, and people just ram it so you don't have a target to clock kick. So if you don't have this card, then you have more target to clock kick. But yeah, it's still a good card.
All right, interesting. I think that's about it.
You want to talk about the the level 1 new reverse Kotori too?
Do you want to? All right, we can pull it up. That's why we're here. Where is Love Live Set? Movie set. Is that this card?
So I think if you were to play this card, you would probably put it in like a second year deck that's like primarily red with like yellow, or like a yellow red deck. I don't think it really meshes well in a blue deck, or in my deck especially, just because like I said, you need a wall up. I'd rather have 3 lanes that are like decently strong rather than just have 2 lanes and 1 empty lane, because it's not like you have problems climbing with this deck. You can most definitely climb down like walls because you have the Angelic Angel and you have the Maki, the Honorverse 1k, you have Tap Give it 1k. Your things can get really big, so I feel like you don't need the you don't need the reverser effect, so then you'd be playing it for the discard climax salvage effect, in which case you can just play the level 0 that Kenny showed us earlier if you wanted that tech instead. So in my opinion, not so good in my deck, at least, or for blue green, but it'd be pretty effective, I guess, in like a Honoka based level 1 game, I guess, because your level 1 game you could do some pretty trolly things and just have the reverser down, more salvage, I guess. I mean, I haven't really tested this card in other decks, but I just think it doesn't fit well with my deck, at least.
So why did you want to talk about this, Quan?
Well, I guess because like, well, when I built this deck, I was prepared including this for the English meta because there's like at least in English there's a lot of also Wally 1/1 that you just sit there and like they just like plus on from it for like 2-3 turn. But especially like, I guess everyone knows the Silence Void combo like from Brocolloy. Like it's not a really like you don't see the deck play a lot, but if you fight against it, it's especially annoying because it's a 1/1 11k until the next turn. Like, and especially like, and then like just sit there for like a while, and like basically you have nothing but side or maybe play like a Saxo or like 1k1 and side it. So with this card, you'll be able to reverse that or like any of the 1/1 that like English play.
I think that kind of almost goes back to like the row thing Preston was talking about earlier, because the Soundless Voice, they are level 1s. They also have a level 1 punch in case they have to fight bombs, or they have like a plus level punch.
Yeah, but it's
Yeah.
also like it's rarer for them to do that rather than like they mostly play just Soundless Voice.
So
I mean,
like,
the way I see it is that when you play against Soundless Voice, it's nice to have a verse. There definitely is, but I think like the primary strategy against that deck is you try to level lock them at 0-5, 0-4. You try to rush them far past 1. So that's when like you just play down 3 ones or something. You play down something and you stock soul or gold bar, and you just try to push them past 1 so that they have a short level 1 game. I think with that deck, it would be better to like speed up the pace of the game, which you can afford to do with your Love Live deck, because I think, or especially with mine, you can search out what you need. So you save your search events for level 3 as opposed to level 1, and level 1 you just try to get through with damage, and level 3 that's when you come back because I don't think the level 3 is as strong as yours.
and also like like it also makes like this current deck also like tricolor level 1 because you already play red and or
Yeah,
blue
so
and
like
green.
it's good. Like it's an option to consider for my deck because I already play red. So including this one, that doesn't hurt that much.
Yeah, but you'd play tricolor level 1.
Yeah, it would be really, really, really awkward for you if you were at like you were hit to 0-6 and then you clocked, you leveled up, and now you're 1-0, and then what color do you pick?
Like most majority is still green because that's where your zero Nico and your 2 out of 1 Nico is.
Well, especially for your deck, because like you play only 3 Nikos, you play like 5 blue, and then if you add in this card, I think it'll end up being like a pretty even distribution with like red being the least priority. So like, why would you even play it?
I mean, because if I play that, I have to change the entire deck.
Yeah.
Already.
I guess another card I want to bring up that we were talking about is the Xenon clone.
Oh, the Xenon Cloud. Yes,
It's a pretty good card.
it is a pretty good card.
Oh yeah, that card.
Where is it at? Help me find it.
It's the movie box.
Oh, it's a new card?
It's a new card.
Oh, it's OP.
Yeah. There.
And Maki.
Damaki. It's still right there. Yeah,
Yeah.
that one. So this Maki is definitely really good to play in primarily blue deck, but I don't play to mine just because, like I said, primarily green for me for level 1. I would prefer to have a like if I'm ever stuck in an awkward position where I only have 1 color level 1, I'll always pick green because I know that I can do that. But like say if I decide to play because it centers on my climaxes. But say I was playing mono blue, I think this card is not bad to play because then at level 1, like I said, you just play the 3 of these down instead. Play your stock still down. You have your 0-0 rin in the back. You have 5 stock. You add 1 to hand, and then you have your beat sticks. They're 6K or 6/5s maybe with clock encore. And the other reason why I also did not play this, I played the Nico over this, is just because the Nico is bigger. Nico is 500 bigger in most cases. With 5 stock, it's 6/5. With this one, at the full field, it's only 6K.
Unless, of course, you play Nick Mick and you attack with Nico first, right?
I make boosted plays all the time, but we don't talk about that here. We don't reference those things here. Like have 3 stock, attack with Nico first, and like, oh fuck, wait, I don't have any power on this. Holy shit, I'm so bad at this game, and then die. Yeah, don't do that, kids. Don't remember to count your stock and your clock.
Remember to read the fine print.
Yeah, read the fucking cards too. That's pretty important.
Most importantly, don't scoop at 3-5.
Yeah, don't scoop at 3/5. No one needs to. Oh, holy shit, dude! I was fucking this, dude.
Don't scoop at 3-5, Preston. Don't leave 1 card in your deck. You're playing his Crone.
Yeah, don't do a lot of fucking things when you're me. Holy shit! just learn to count. I think that's the biggest thing. Go back to kindergarten and just like sit down, count your 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's all. That's it. Weiss is a hard fucking game, boys.
All right, so because both of you guys have been playing Love Live for a while, and kind of this the blue stuff has kind of replaced the yellow stuff, which used to be like the meta stuff. What is your, I guess, opinion on how the deck has changed from when it used to be primarily like yellow focused?
Okay, so I got Japanese Love Live like pretty early on. Like I think a little bit after it came out, I want to say. And I thought it was like pretty fucking good because it had the 1-0 Ellie's 500 for every. I was like, holy shit, a 1075 wall, that's so strong. And then I think as time went on, the deck just started dying out because at level 1, back then, it would rely on a 118K with Clock Encore and a 1075. But then I think like every deck got one of those. So right now, the yellow red Love Live deck is just it's just too vanilla in how it plays. It's like a shittier version of yellow red Guilty Crown, because Guilty Crown has a really similar setup. Has a global 5 with a salvage brainstorm instead of a search, and then you have the biggest reason why is I think Guilty Crown is a better version of it is because instead of having only vanilla punches to back it up, you have the 102K split punches. So your walls are like 1095 as opposed to 108K. So I think it's just outclassed by a lot of the options that people have today, especially also because like the deck has trouble climbing. I think because you play down 1075s, you play a 1K one down, you only hit 85. Really like getting over things, I guess. There's that, and then your level 3 finishers are like they're just okay. I think with that deck, you have an on-cancel burn, you have heals. It's a lot of it's more like deck control based. None of it is like I'm gonna try to finish you in one turn.
The Deer Hanyo is really good. The Nozomi Plus Soul is really good. I'm not too sure what else.
Yeah, for me, like I play mostly English Love Live. Like I guess like in technically the deck, my way of playing the deck doesn't change. It's just like the color change. It's because when I'm playing Love Live English, I'm still playing a lot of level 1. Like I mean like a lot of 1-up level 0, just because I like having option. But yeah, like you said, like yellow doesn't get support in like 2 last sets of Love Live, so which make kind of yellow obsolete. It have like good level 3 to help you, but like Preston said, it doesn't like actually help you finish the deck, like finish the opponent off.
It's just like it's the problem. I think it's the problem with just everyone else's 1-0s now. Like everyone and their mother has an Ellie now, so they just play that down and they match you in power or something, and they probably have a level 1 plus combo. You don't. It's like a
The
Telever.
problem with like yellow is that you don't have any plus in combo at all. You play climax for the sake of playing the effect, rather than like playing for the plus in combo.
Yeah, and then I think the deck also doesn't benefit from the new red cards, or if it does a level 3, but like that Kotori bomb we were talking about earlier, it really doesn't help the field because you play it down, you crash into the field, you trade 1 for 1 in the lane, and then now your Ellie's are 500 weaker because you just traded a lane. So I just think it's like the deck is just it's an older deck, so that's why it just doesn't see as much play now. But if the meta was back then again, I think it'd still be a pretty good deck.
No, back then it's pretty sad.
It was not bad.
It was bad. I played it. It's the only deck I have. I play it. It feels pretty bad.
You have 1075 walls. That's pretty
You also
good.
have
like
the
people just
118
off from
Umi.
you.
Yeah, you have a 118K with Clock Encore, and then you have 1075s. Back then, I think that's pretty good.
Yeah, but the thing is then like and then level 3 you kind of just like
At level
you
3,
hit them at 2 like 2, 3, 2, 4, 2, 5 and they just shit on you.
at level 3 man, you have a better Shauna restander, and that shit didn't cost $20 fucking. It cost like 3.
No, at level 3, you play one of the Hanyo with 10 stock. You pay 8, discard 8 cards, and like search 8, right?
Exactly. You super compress. You just don't die with that deck. I mean,
Yeah. I mean I
and
did
then they
that
ghost
too.
punch you and you cry because they're playing Nisekoi and they're just like, holy shit, this deck's OP.
Well, that was my last question. You guys have any other final notes you guys want to put in?
No, I think I've talked about Love Live, I guess. Yeah.
Juan?
Like I guess like the only thing I wish they have make the deck with better idea than just like with new set come and they just kind of same, not really outstanding.
I mean, that makes sense. The game plan's pretty similar to the old set, though. It just have a little bit more options. Level 1, you basically just try to play a really strong level 1 game, and then they give you a better level 3 game. You try to transition from 2 to 3 with some cards. Your level 0 game is still Love Life things, you know.
Like it's a good set if you want to build waifu deck, but
Yeah, of course.
otherwise it's just like a okay set to play around.
Actually, the most OP waifu deck is that boy. I think the level 5 decks are pretty strong, but that
Oh.
boy is just a
Preview
step above.
for the future. Dat boy, Fate.
That boy, you guys are gonna learn about that boy soon.
Yeah,
too.
deck discussion. Preview for the future.
Preview for the future.
All right, thanks for watching. Yeah, see you guys next time.
Bye bye.